a bronze member. Amanda Jackson, please do Illinois. Thanks for the super chat. There you go. Let me just listen. There you go. It is working. Some votes in there already. Listen here, guys. Listen here. I've written some things down because it's a lot to get into. Okay, so you want Ohio, you want Texas, you want California, you want Massachusetts, Illinois, and Arizona. So until Christmas, I think I'm done with the cities. Now we just got to find out a fair way. So I'm going to do it like this because I'm a venture capitalist and a capitalist. Because Amanda Jackson did put the super chat in. Next up, it's going to be Illinois. Then I think we're going to follow that with California, Massachusetts, Texas, Ohio, and Arizona. So that's the listing. I'll put it in my famous black book here. Don't worry. So next week it's going to be Illinois, Chicago, baby, as somebody just said there in the chat. Yeah, you got the Bulls, the Bears, the Blackhawks, the Cubbies, the White Sox. We'll do that, man. We'll do that. The Chicago Fire, I think, is what the football team's called. Vern would know that because he's a big... Of course, our little fat boy played there. Al Chak Attack. Yeah, he played there for the Chicago Fire. I think it's actually half Swiss owned because they have a cooperation with Lugano. So, yeah. But that's across the pond. Preview for weeks to come. Let's have a look at the topics today. Of course, we've got to talk about the World Series. We'll have an NFL roundup. Then we have to talk about the state of Florida today. The NFL, NBA has started. What a game to start us off yesterday. NASCAR and college football not in the show today because the show's got so much to talk about, man. Got so much to talk about. But good to see everybody in. Love it, man. Lots of new people. I see Levante Jones is new. Andre, greetings from Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, we got a few new people in there. Good. Michael. I think Michael is from Las Vegas. So... Great stuff. But let's start with the show. Yeah, guys. Hey, we're up to over 100,000. I've got to remember that. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And, if you want anything, if you want to give us some extra information, email on top there. I'll take it away for now. But there's only one place to start, and that's the World Series. I'm bothered because these lights are not working today. I don't know why they're not working. Did I plug out something? Did I move something? No, but it's okay. So we talk about the World Series. Look, we have our World Series. And it is the LA Dodgers against the Toronto Blue Jays from Canada, eh? There you go. So let's have a look at the schedule. Look, could go 7 games, could go 4 games. We'll see. It all starts on Friday evening in the US, which will be Saturday morning at about 1 o'clock our time. It all starts. I will wait and I might do one because baseball is a long game to do if you're doing a live watch along. But I think the Dodgers are going to do it again, man. I just think the Dodgers. But I'm rooting for you Canadians as well, man. That's just the way it is, man. But let's go a little bit in depth into this World Series. Let's start off with the Dodgers. I mean, LA Dodgers. They had to go through the wild card. They beat the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card game. 2-0. Then the division series they had against the Philadelphia Phillies, which they won 3-1 comfortably. And then in the league championship game against the Milwaukee Brewers, they just swept the Brewers aside 4-0. I mean, I've chosen one pitcher and one batter to introduce you a little bit from, or just to mention them from the Dodgers. But before we get into them, look, who are the main guys there on the pitching side for the Dodgers? Of course, you got Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Shohei Ohtani, can I forget the man? Tyler Gusnoff, there you go. They got some good relief pitchers as well. Alex Vezia and Tanner Scott, really good relief pitchers. So that's why we are going to look at this pitcher today. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yeah, I'm going Japanese here for the Dodgers, man. You got a very big Japanese contingent. Bonjour, Vern. Bonjour. Then on the batting side, of course, it's Shohei Ohtani. Put him out there straight away. So those are your 2 stars, I think, that are going to make a difference for the Dodgers in this playoff series. Both from Japan, funnily enough. But, they've got Mookie Betts there. I mean, Shohei Ohtani had 55 home runs. Mookie Betts had 20 last season. This is all regular season. Then you have Andy Pages with 27 home runs. Freddie Freeman had 24. And, of course, Teoscar Hernandez with 25. looking good for the Dodgers. I mean, good. They've already announced who they're going to have pitching in Game 1. It's going to be Blake Snell will pitch in Game 1, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto will pitch in Game 2. So yeah, I think Game 3 is probably going to be Clayton Kershaw, but they've announced the first 2 games, which is really cool. Look, the Dodgers were 96 and 69 in the regular season. So let's see what they can come up with. Then let's get them out the way, because we've got to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays as well. From Canada, 94-68 was their regular season record. And they won. They didn't have to go through the wild card. They were straight into the divisional series. They beat the Yankees, or some people out there like to call them the Skankies. They beat them 3-1. And then in the league in the league championship, they beat the Seattle Mariners. That just finished last night or the night before, 4-3. So that gets them to the World Series. Look, their main pitching guys, they've got Kevin Gausman, they've got Trey Yesavage, Jose Barrios, Max Scherzer, Shane Bieber, Chris Bassett. Got some good relievers there, Louis Farland and Jeff Hoffman, Brendan Little. I mean, they got some good pitching. Look, I've gone. Look, I gotta go. I've gone with this man just because of his name, because I like that name, and he's very, very good. Trey Savage. What a name, man! That's sad. He sounds Franco-Canadian. Yes, Savage. Sounds good, man. On the batting side, look, George Springer, he had 32 home runs for them in the Vladimir Guerrero, 32, and Bo Bichette. Those are the guys I went with. Springer. So those are the 2 stars for me that can make a difference for the Blue Jays on the batting, and then on the pitching side. They haven't come out with who they're going to start in Game 1 yet. I got a funny feeling it's going to be Savage coming out there. I think we'll go Savage, Kevin Gausman, and Shane Bieber. I think that'll be the starting 3 in the first 3 games. But we'll see. So that is our baseball for today. So the World Series, let's get back to that quickly. That World Series, going to be epic, man. Guys, we've got to enjoy it. Jan Ray, Makatoli Pimpy banned for 5 weeks. Tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's rugby, my friend. Today is North American. Thanks for the information. We will process it. Don't worry. So, guys, we're looking forward to the World Series. Now, our state of the week, before we get into the NFL, NHL, and all that, our state of the week this week is good old Florida. There you can see where Florida is on the US map. I have a very special place for Florida in my heart. I'll explain that afterwards. As you can see, the city of Miami is behind me. There you go. But of course, let's mention some of the nice spots to go to in Miami. Of course, you got to go to South Beach, baby. I mean, that is beautiful. Not just the beaches are beautiful in South Beach. Then, of course, you like a little bit of nature. Go to the Everglades. I've been there. I should have put a picture of me holding up the crocodile, the alligator. I had a little alligator on my hand. There you go. Of course, you go to Florida. You go to Disneyland. No, baby. And then, of course, this is a place that's very close to my heart, Key West. Because Key West is very special to me, because I did get married in Key West, and I'm going to show you. There where that little red heart is now on the screen, exactly in that room there is exactly where I spent my honeymoon. There, that's where we spent it in Key West. Fantastic. So I do love Key West. I love Florida, special place in my heart. In 2027, I will be married 30 years, and I will be back in Florida. I can guarantee you that, guys. But let's get into the sports there in Florida. Let's get a little bit of information out on Florida. Look, the capital of the state of Florida is Tallahassee. No, it's not Miami. It's not Tampa, and it's not Orlando. It is Tallahassee. 23 million people live in the state of Florida. Like I said, landmarks. We went through all those landmarks before. Then we're going to get into each of the teams. Of course, you got the Heat, the Magic, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Buccaneers. Got a lot of good colleges in Florida as well. You know, Florida State, University of Florida, University of Miami, big schools there. But let's start. Let's start at the very beginning. And like we did last week, we'll be talking about the Miami Heat first of all. I'm going to introduce some of the people I think are iconic to that franchise. And when we're talking about the Miami Heat, you can't get past Pat Riley. What this man has done for the Miami Heat, I mean, they should give him the key of the city. He should be an honorary Floridian. He's done fantastically well. And if you mention Pat Riley, you can't forget Dwayne Wade. People can say, where's LeBron? No. LeBron traveled around too much, man. This is Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat. I can tell you, I love the Miami Heat. Always supported them since the day they were founded. I was actually in Florida when they were founded, so cool. I mean, great players there. Tim Hardaway, Glenn Rice, Alonzo Mourning. They all came through the Miami Heat. Good stuff. And right about now, Miami Heat are a sleeper team in the NBA this year. And they have won. Hey, look, they've won 3 NBA titles. Then we move on to the second basketball franchise there in Florida, the Orlando Magic. Never won a title yet. Very, very close. Look, for me, the 2 iconic players there, it's got to be Shaq and Penny. Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal. The whole journey of Shaq and his greatness started in Orlando with a Frean Hardaway, also known as Penny. What a duo that was. Just couldn't quite get to that. I think they lost to the Houston Rockets in that one year. There you go. Then we move to the football side of things. And of course, you can't get past the Miami Dolphins. Unbelievable franchise of Dolphins. Never won a Super Bowl, man. But look, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Dan Marino there in his golden jacket entering the Hall of Fame. And then they did have that, I'll leave old Dan up there. And then, of course, the man himself, Don Shula. What a coach Don Shula was. I can tell you one thing, not just a good coach, but man had fantastic restaurants. Because out there in Miami, I went to one of his restaurants in Fort Lauderdale. He had a restaurant called Shula's. Fantastic steaks. If you guys are ever out there, I think the restaurant is still running, so go check it out. Shula's. What a restaurant it was. Then, of course, there is the second team, my team out of Florida, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 2 titles, 2 Super Bowls. And I mean, if you think about you can't forget Ron DeBarber. I mean, the interception he had in 2002, it was for the Buccaneers that sealed that first franchise Super Bowl for them. Don't forget, they are owned by the Glazers family. So United fans, they are owned by the Glazers family, you know. And of course, you cannot forget the second one with a terrific Tom there. The GOAT, Tom Brady, left my Patriots to go to my new team as well. The Buccaneers won a title there, took Gronk with him. So great stuff there. And the man we all entrust to bring us the next Super Bowl championships, Baker Mayfield. Can Baker do something for us? Would be fantastic, guys. Then there are, you know, there's a third team there in Florida in the NFL. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars. A young team owned by Mr. Khan. And their hopes are all pinned on this man, Trevor Lawrence. I think they need 1 or 2 more years to build something up, but a good quarterback and with Travis Etienne, a good running back, I think they could be there or thereabout this year in the playoffs. You never know. Let me just move that a little bit back. There you go. That's better. There you go. Then, of course, big hockey state. 30 years ago, if you told me Florida would be one of the best hockey states, people would have laughed at you. Ice hockey in Florida? Yeah, hell no, that's not happening. But that is the case. And let me just quickly, I've got to find myself again. There you go. The 2-time reigning champions, Florida Panthers. They've won it back-to-back. Can they do it a third time? I think they're good. Look, if you're talking about the Florida Panthers and their run, you can only talk about Alexander Barkov, the captain of the Florida Panthers. What a player this guy is. Unbelievable. Can he take his Florida Panthers to the three-peat? I don't know when last an NHL team three-peated, but yeah. Then Tampa Bay Lightning have actually got more titles than the Florida Panthers. They've got 3. I mean, look, what a franchise as well. Florida sports is well and healthy, man. And for me, the main guy there, Vincent LeCavalier, I loved him when he played. What a player, man. Then, of course, they do play hockey. They do play baseball there. You got the Tampa Bay Rays. Never won a title yet. Never won a World Series. For me, I know he plays for the Yankees now, but Evan Longoria, iconic player for the Rays. 7 beautiful seasons there. Holds most of the records when it comes to batting and stuff like that. What a player he was. Then the Florida Marlins. And the Marlins have won 2 championships. And you got to go with Giancarlo Stanton. Sorry, not Longoria went to the Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton, what a batter he is. He does hold most of the records for the Florida Marlins. So yeah, baseball, baby. We're talking about the World Series. Then, of course, you do have football teams there as well. So for all your American soccer teams, and it's Inter Miami, iconic owner there, David Beckham. But if you're talking about the Inter Miami, you got to talk about Lionel Messi, most probably the greatest football player in the last 30 years. I still got Maradona as 1. I got Pele as 2, and I got Messi as 3. That's just the way I am. I'll put Ronaldo and Messi, I'll put almost on the same thing, but Messi did win that World Championship. And there is another team there in Orlando, in Florida, the Orlando City Soccer Club. Kaká played for them. I know my boy Nani played for them. Yeah, so good sports there in Florida. They got to up the ladies' sports again. They got to get a WNBA franchise there in Florida. But at the moment, that's the state of Florida, guys. So next week, what did we say it was next week? I wrote it down. Next week is Illinois. So yeah, if you're a Cubbies, a White Sox, a Chicago Bulls, a Blackhawks fan, join us for that one next week. Or a Chicago Fire. There you go. Or the Chicago Sky there with what's the lady's name there? Reese, the controversial there. We'll talk about that next week. So let's move on, because I don't want to go for like 48 hours here. So we have the National Football League. Let's have a look at week 7. Those are the results. It's hotting up there, man. It is really, really hotting up there. Still, only team not to get a win in the whole season is those hapless Jets. So let's hope they can get a win soon. Let's have a look at the tables before we get into week 8 and the playoff picture. So at the moment, look, if the AFC East is led by the New England Patriots. I should have got my Patriots shirt out, man. Then you go. The North is led by the Steelers, but it's all tight there. I think it's the Steelers to lose. Steelers, Bengals. I can't see the others. What are the Ravens going to do? Are they going to bounce back? Then Brian, hi Vic from Durban. Hi Durbs. Listen here, those bloody Sharks better come right this weekend. Yeah, it's the New England and Buffalo. They're definitely vying for that top spot in the East. And in the North, I think it'll be the Steelers at the end of the day. Then in the South and the West, the Indianapolis Colts with a fantastic season so far, 6-1. Jacksonville dropping off a little bit, but yeah, let's see what happens there. Denver surprising everybody out there in the West, followed by the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs starting to bounce back nicely. There you go, Sharks. Then we have the NFC East and North first. Philadelphia Eagles still on top there, the reigning champions. Not as dominant as people thought. Cowboys are coming slowly but surely. Then we have in the North, Green Bay Packers on top, but don't count out the Lions and the Bears, both good teams. Now, I wouldn't even count out those Vikings, man. Those pesky Vikings. Oi. Then we go down south into the West. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There you go, Florida. The Buccaneers on top of the division in the South, ahead of the Panthers and the Falcons. In the West, you have the San Francisco 49ers ahead of the Seahawks and the Rams. They're all on 5-2. Maybe the toughest and tightest division in football, NFC West. So let's have a look at the playoff picture quickly. So these are the teams that are in the playoffs at the moment. The Colts and the Packers would have a bye in week 1. And then the Patriots would play the Jaguars, the Broncos would play the Chargers, and the Steelers and the Bulls would face off. But that is it for the moment. Your NFL, that is the way it looks at the playoffs. But it's still early. It's early. A third of the season is in the books. Lots to come. Let's have a look what's coming up in week 8. There you go. Let's have a look at some of the standout games that I think should be interesting. Vikings-Chargers should be an interesting one. Can't see the Dolphins beating the Falcons. Or we're going to talk about the Jets. I mean, the Jets, you suck. You make... New York's supposed to be the greatest city on earth, and you people make New York look like a joke. So you will be losing against the Bengals. The Browns, you're not going to beat my Patriots. Then the Giants and the Eagles, that's going to be a tight one. A lot of people don't think it. I'm tipping the Giants for this one. Bills, Panthers, got to go with the Bills. Bears, Ravens, I'm going with the Ravens. Ravens are bouncing back. Texans against the 49ers, that's a toss-up. Buccaneers, Saints, no way the Saints are beating my Buccaneers. Cowboys, Broncos, go Broncos, because nobody likes the Cowboys. Titans against the Colts, easy win for the Colts. Packers, Steelers, that should be an intense game of football. And then we have the Commanders against the Chiefs. Chiefs are on a roll at the moment. I would back the Chiefs on this one, but we'll see. We will see. Don't worry. And then, of course, we have not as many games as usual because there's 6 teams on a bye this week. Lions, Rams, Raiders, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Jaguars all have a bye this week. That's the wrap-up of the NFL. Then we move into, we got to move into the NBA because it all started last night. Let me put it out there. I did that game live. The Rockets against the Thunder. Double OT, 124 to 125. The Thunder nipped that one. Some beautiful performances there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren was good. On the scoring department, Isaiah Hartenstein is a monster, and so is Rudets Dortz. Beautiful defense. On the other side, obviously KD was playing well there. Jabari Smith Jr. played well, but the man was Alpana Segun, the Turkish guy. This guy was sensational for them last night. And then a guy that doesn't get a lot of recognition, Mr. Adams. I call him Grizzly Adams. He was all over the place. Defense, offense, rebounds, fantastic. So the NBA, what a way to start. The Warriors beat the Lakers. Jimmy Butler with 31 and Luka Doncic with 43. Not enough. Luka, it's just not enough. You got to play some D as well, my son. But that's the NBA. Check out all these games are coming up tonight. That means all the teams that have played at least one game by the end of this evening. I will update you tomorrow morning in the morning show about that one. Don't worry. Then we move out to the NHL, the National Hockey League. And those are the results. I'm not going to go through all of them. I do that every morning at 7 o'clock in the show. But check that out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the tables, which is more interesting. In the Atlantic Division, you got the Red Wings out in front ahead of the Canadiens and the Panthers, the reigning champions. Maple Leafs, Boston, Tampa Bay not looking too good at the moment. Talking about Florida today. There you go. Then in the Metropolitan Division, the New Jersey Devils. I like the Devils. Got a lot of Swiss boys in there. Got to support them. Nico Hirschy and them. Then the Hurricanes, the Penguins, the Capitals, the New York Islanders, and the Rangers not doing too well. They got to start upping it, man. Then in the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche out in front there ahead of the Winnipeg Jets and the Utah Mammoth. Nashville Predators, that's another team I like to watch because of the Swiss in there and not doing too well either. And then, there's where my heart goes up, man. The Vegas Golden Knights ahead of the Pacific Division, ahead of the Canucks and the Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken and Vancouver Canucks, people don't know, but that's a derby because they are right close to each other. You got the Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks, you got the Oilers, the Kings, the Sharks, and the Flames. I didn't know that Calgary was on the Pacific, but okay, don't worry about it. That's the way it is in American sports. There you go. So that is the show for today, my friends. We've run it down. We will do more NASCAR next week. We'll get into that. I didn't want to. I don't want the shows to go over 25 minutes. So I decided, But NASCAR, last race of the playoffs before we get into that final. The final is going to be in Phoenix. And this week it's going to be in Martinsville. Martinsville is the NASCAR this week. I remember that correctly. So out of the 8 guys that could still make the playoffs, 4 of them are leaving the playoffs at the end of the Martinsville race, and then we'll be down to Arizona there in Phoenix, and we'll check out who wins the NASCAR for this season. I'm still hoping for one of my boys from Hendrick Motorsports, but we'll see what happens there. Guys, that was the show. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. Across the pond, week 3 in the books. It's going on nicely. I got my list here. Boys and girls. I'll put it in the famous book. So next week we're going to do Illinois, and then we'll do after that is California, Massachusetts, Texas, Ohio, and Arizona. Because I see there's so many new guys in there. Everybody wants their state. We'll get through all of them because this program is not going to disappear. We're going to be around here for a while, across the pond, every week on a Wednesday at 5 o'clock. People have told me, Vic, you got to do 2 shows a week. Guys, the preparation for one show is a hell of a lot. To do all these cities and stuff like that, I can't do 2 shows like this in a week. I'll go crazy, man. I can. If you all like Amanda Jackson, do some more super chats, $50 super chats and stuff like that, then I can stop my job. Then there's a different story. But guys, once again, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the American sport. Lots coming up. Don't forget, we've been doing a lot more basketball on the channel. NFL, World Series. I will do one of the games in the World Series, all depending on how it all pans out. But that was the show for today. I hope you liked it, and see you soon.